Leading off will be Denard Spann. He'll be followed by Orlando Cabrera, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, and then Jason Kubel, who's done very well against the Tribe this year, as you can see by his numbers. Michael Kadires in right field, and Brendan Harris at third. Carlos Gomez batting eighth tonight, and Alexi Casilla rounds it out for Minnesota.
Jeremy Sowers making start number 18 on the year. He is 5-9, a 488 earned run average, making his first start against Minnesota this year. He did start last August 1st, 4-1 loss to the Twins. He did pitch 6 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, didn't walk anybody, 4 strikeouts. In his career, 1-2 against the Minnesota Twins. So he's going to have to try and contain the left-handed hitters that Minnesota throws at you. It doesn't matter who's on the mound.
And Denard Spann is that first left-handed batter. Now, interestingly, with Denard Spann, he's 0 for 6 in his career against Jeremy Sowers, and he'll lead it off for Minnesota here tonight. First pitch from Jeremy is a strike. Nice night for a ball game here. Not much of a breeze, a little one blowing right to left, but not really a factor. Calm night, cool, but very comfortable here as Denard Spann lifts that one to left field. Coming in, Jamie Carroll, he'll make the catch, and one away here in the top of the first inning.
Let's check out our Indians defense, brought to you by Honda. In the outfield, it's going to be Carroll, Brantley, and Laporta. On the infield, Peralta at third, Cabrera at short, Valbuena at second, Marte at first, shopping behind the plate.
And here's the umpires for tonight's game. Larry Vanover's behind the plate. Rick Reed is at first, Sam Holbrook at second, and Dan Iasanya is at third. As Orlando Cabrera looks at a strike from Jeremy Sowers. 3 pitches, 3 strikes for the Tribe lefty here to start things off tonight. Game time temperature 69 degrees. Pitch just off the plate. Orlando Cabrera coming over in a trade and has really paid off, provided some stability at shortstop for the Twins here in the second half of the season.
Well, they were looking for somebody at shortstop. He really did. When you remember, he had that long hitting streak going this year, longest of his career. But did a nice job. He's always been a solid ball player. Came over hot.
That pitch is driven to right field, but back with room is Matt Laporta. He'll make the catch as he steps on the warning track. 2 down here in the top of the first inning, and that'll bring Joe Mauer to the plate for Minnesota. And Joe Mauer is giving manager Ron Gardenhire here some real good at bats this season. And Rick, we were talking about Joe Mauer in the pregame portion, and Joe Mauer is so good on so many levels, but perhaps a couple of the most impressive feats are, number one, he's a catcher most nights, so he's getting beat up, and number two, he doesn't strike out a whole lot.
No. Well, he's tough to strike out because he waits on the baseball. He doesn't try and pull it. He recognizes the pitch. He lets it get deep into the zone. You know, he's the first American League catcher to win a batting title, and that is a very difficult thing to do as you look at your league leaders.
And tonight's league leaders brought to you by the Indians Team Shops. And there's Joe Mauer on top of the AL by 7 points over Ichiro in the batting average race.
Well, that's getting closer, too, because those two have been battling all year long. But Mauer at one time took about a 25-point lead when he got on that. He only hit about 390 in the month of August.
Yeah, that's not good at all. 2-0 here to Mauer as he takes the pitch at the knees for a strike. 2-1 now. And Joe Mauer currently on a 3-game hitting streak, 4 for his last 11 during that time, and he had a 15-game hitting streak in August. During that time, he batted .524.
Yeah, he's a treat to watch. When you like to watch good hitters, just check him out.
There's Marte with a nice play behind the bag, gets to first, and the Twins go 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the first inning. We'll head to the bottom half. Asdrubal Cabrera hitting in the 3-hole for the Tribe tonight. of the first inning here at Progressive Field, and the Indians starting lineup is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley will lead it off for the first time in his major league career tonight. He'll be followed by Jamie Carroll, Asdrubal Cabrera, then Johnny Peralta batting cleanup. It'll be Hafner, Laporta, Valbuena, Andy Marte, who had a pretty good 10-game road trip, as you see there, and Kelly Shoppig tonight for the Tribe. And an old friend is on the mound.
No doubt about it. Well, he was a friend. He's not anymore. But, yeah, Carl Pavano.
We'll talk about him in just a moment as he delivers the first pitch down low to Michael Brantley.
You know, and he was very familiar with his ballpark pitching this year.
Carl Pavano has been dominating against American League Central teams this year. This, of course, the first time he's faced the Indians, his old club. As the count goes even to Michael Brantley at 1-1, but against the division this year, 8-5 with a .397 earned run average. And against Chicago and Detroit, the two teams at the top that Minnesota's competing with, Pavano's 5-1 with a .217 mark.
Well, don't think that's what the reason why they got him.
Michael Brantley hits that one on the nose, but Denard Span is right there for the first.
Let's check out the Twins defense, rated #1 in the league. They have made just 59 errors. It's Span in left, Gomez in center, Kadire in right, Harris at third, Cabrera at short, Casilla at second, Morneau at first with Mauer behind the plate. Carl Pavano on the mound, making his 6th start for the Twins, and he is 11-10, making his 27th start this year. That's a good year for Pavano, 156 innings, and he's adding to that because, you know, over the last 4 years, he really hasn't pitched a whole lot. He's had injuries, and he's really come out and had a pretty solid year when you think about it.
He sure has.
112 strikeouts, only 30 walks. He's very aggressive, and he likes to pound the strike zone. We saw him pitch many games this year where it's strike one, strike two. He goes right at you. And so if I'm a hitter, I'm looking up early in the count. I'm looking first fastball.
And he's got a 1-1 count here on Jamie Carroll, who hits that one foul to the Indians dugout at the facing there. So now 1-2 to Jamie Carroll. And Carl Pavano, when the Indians signed him in the offseason, Rick, they wanted a guy who could keep them in ball games and who could, you know, at least be 500. Carl Pavano did that for the Tribe, and he's doing it for Minnesota.
What he did here, it was a lot like what Paul Byrd did here. You know, he'd go out there and he'd give you some innings that I think what
Carroll,
yes,
fair.
Indeed.
Down the third base line, into left field. Carroll around first base. He's digging for second. Spans throw in. Not in time. Jamie Carroll, a double with one out here in the first inning.
Right over the bag. I mean, that one hit hard, and it looks like it ended in foul territory. It looks like Harris is still looking like that ball went foul. He is eyeballing that ball. He did not think it was fair. Harris did. Look at him look back. You get the call from Dan Isadna at third base. One hopper. Carroll gets the double. That's number 8.
Let's take a look at yesterday's great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. Asdrubal Cabrera with the RBI single.
That was to get him on the board, a 2-out base hit. And then they ended up tying the game. There was another big hit after that.
Relax, you're at Great Clips. Asdrubal in the 3-hole, drives that one to left. Span going over, makes the catch. And there are 2 away here in the first inning as Carroll goes back to second base. So Denard Span has had a couple of balls hit at him pretty good here in the first inning, but he's been able to haul them both in, and now Johnny Peralta, the cleanup hitter for the Tribe, comes to the plate. So 2 outs and a runner in scoring position for Peralta. This season he's batting .259 with runners in scoring position. 58 runs batted in that situation. So he takes a strike from Carl Pavano.
Well, Pavano realizes that Peralta a good fastball hitter, so he starts him off with a changeup. And Carl's got a good changeup. He's not afraid to throw it at any time in the count.
So he gets ahead of Peralta here as you get a look at Jamie Carroll leading away at second base. Peralta hits that one to right, but Michael Kadire's right there, and he makes the catch. So the Indians hit the ball pretty well here in the first, but have only a hit and no runs to show for it. We go to the second, scoreless in Cleveland. Right. By McCafe Coffees at McDonald's, all made to order with fresh ground espresso beans. And by All Care Dental and Dentures, we make seeing the dentist easy. Great night here in September, the first Friday in September, Labor Day weekend. There's a look from the Goodyear blimp up top.
Great
69
shot.
degrees. Yeah, boy, and a great night, too, for a ball game.
It's going to be a perfect weekend. A lot going on down here. Air share this weekend.
Yep. Justin Morneau leads it off for the Twins here in the top of the second inning. Morneau in a rare slump. He's 0 for his last 8. Kind of a mini slump.
Well,
And he drives that one, but it's foul. Probably when he's his most dangerous.
Morneau had that inner ear infection where he had to miss a little bit of time. You know, and I don't care even if you miss a week and you don't play, it still takes a little bit of time to get back into the swing of things.
You see the numbers there. He struggled some since the All-Star break. And, Rick, that goes to that, what you were talking about, that ear infection. Thought they had it cleared up. Then he was dizzy. They had to send him home from Kansas City a couple of weeks ago to get checked out again. So it's hampered him a bit. Morneau on 29 home runs this year. And he went a little too far on that one. Strike 3. Jeremy Sowers, his first strikeout tonight. And there's one away here in the second inning.
Well, Jeremy throwing a lot of strikes early.
Time now for our Subway Fresh Face of the Game. And let's go down to the minors and check in with Carlos Santana, the 2009 Eastern League MVP. And Carlos Santana was a highly touted prospect going into this season. He was the Carolina League MVP in 2008, Eastern League this year. So far, Rick, this guy has come as advertised. It's our Subway Fresh Face of the Game.
We won't see him this year.
No.
You know, we will not see him this year, unfortunately, but he's soon to be up here.
Here's Jason Kubel, who's had fun against the Tribe this year, batting .381 against them. Kubel, the DH, hitting in the 5-hole tonight. And quickly, Sowers jumps ahead of him, 0-2. But yeah, Carlos Santana came over in that Casey Blake deal last season, and he's done nothing but hit the baseball since he got here. Switch hitter. Still working on his game defensively, though. One thing Mark Shapiro said is you get a look at some of the RBI numbers on Kubel. His bat is just about major league ready now, but defensively, calling a game still needs some work.
Well, as most young catchers do, he was not drafted or signed as a catcher. He was a third baseman. So it takes a little time to develop and learn. It's a very difficult position. And the number one priority is calling the game and handling a pitching staff.
Kubel takes that pitch inside. So from 0-2 to 3-2. There's Michael Kadire waiting on deck.
Kubel's a guy that he's had another terrific year against the Indians.
Sure has. Now against Sowers, he's had his struggles in his career. 0 for 8 against Jeremy. Still looking for his first hit, but we did a game in Minnesota back on June 4th. Had a couple of home runs against Fausto Carmona his first 2 times up, and it was 7-0 in the second inning, and that was it.
Well, you just saw that stat where he had 3 5+ RBI games. 2 of those 3 came against the Indians.
Hits that one on the ground to second. Here comes Valbuena. Nice little underhanded flip there to Andy Marte, and 2 are away here in the top of the second. Time now for our Alltel text poll. Let's take a look at today's question. Who do you think has been the Indians minor league player of the year? Is it Carlos Santana, man we were just talking about? What about Hector Rondon, Lonnie Chisenhall, Jinmar Gomez, or Michael Brantley? Text your answer to 31962, and of course, we'll have the results for you coming up later here during tonight's game. So 2 outs, and Michael Kadire to the plate takes ball 1 from Jeremy Sowers. Jeremy's retired the first 5 Minnesota Twins batters that he's faced. Michael Kadire's also had some injury issues, some finger problems. But he's another guy, Rick. You talk about their left-handed batters for Minnesota, and they've got some very good ones. Obviously in Mauer and Morneau, then, of course, Span and Kubel. But Michael Kadire, a good right-handed bat, and when he's in the lineup, Minnesota's that much better because it really stretches that lineup out.
Well, when he was the guy before really Kubel had his year, he was the one that separated Mauer and Morneau, the right-handed bat. but he's had some injuries the last couple of years with some finger or thumb problems. But when he's healthy, he's an excellent right fielder, and he's a very good hitter. He makes it, you're right, he does stretch the lineup out.
3-1 now to Kadire, who's 3 for 10 with the home run in his career against Jeremy Sowers. 2 outs, nobody on here in the second inning. And Kadire takes that one at the knees for strike 2. So a full count now to Michael Kadire. Hitting in the 6 hole today in manager Ron Gardenhire's lineup. Now the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit high in the air to short right field. Laporta coming in, and he'll make the catch. So 3 up, 3 down once again. Go the Twins here in the second inning. We'll head to the bottom half. No score in Cleveland. Hafner, Laporta, and Valbuena against Carl Pavano. And Hafner takes a look at a pitch that's at the upper portion of the strike zone. 0-1. Just 2 players on the current Indians roster have a history against Carl Pavano, and one of those is Travis Hafner. He's 1 for 3. The other is Jamie Carroll, who doubled back in the first inning, and he takes a pitch inside there. Hafner does for a ball. So 1-1 now to Travis Hafner. A pitch on the inside corner.
Trying to stay inside, not give Travis any swinging room. And that's what a lot of teams do. You try and get in there and force him to try and pull the ball.
So Pavano gets ahead of his former teammate.
There you go, no breathing room.
Well, that pitch just inside there. He's got a couple of different change-ups. One is called a Fosh change-up, and then he has the circle change. One change-up was taught to him by Al Nipper. Remember him, Rick? You played against him.
I sure do. Al Nipper, he threw a knuckleball at the end of his days, and he was a pitching coach.
Yeah, for the Boston Red Sox.
Yes, he was. I remember that.
When Pavano was in that organization, he was part of the Pedro Martinez deal when he went to Montreal. That's when Al Nipper taught him that pitch. There's Matt Laporta. He's on deck. Travis Hafner has worked the count full here against Pavano. Leadoff batter in the bottom of the second for the Tribe, and hits that one foul. Twins not really going with the infield shift here against Travis. Third baseman Brendan Harris's play pretty far off the line. The shortstop close to up the middle. To get a look at it there, but seen a lot of teams. They'll put pretty much all the infielders from center field over to the right side.
Well, it all depends on how you're going to pitch them.
Travis lifts that one high on the left side.
Going to stay in play.
Harris?
No.
He's into the camera bay there. So it just got out. Travis Hafner, new life. Carl Pavano now is throwing 17 pitches. 12 of those have been for strikes. See Travis Hafner choking up a little bit. Again, the payoff pitch. That pitch low and inside for ball 4. So a good at bat by Travis Hafner and laid off of that inside breaking ball.
Yes, it was. You're absolutely right.
Aerial coverage tonight is provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. And as you said earlier, Rick, what a gorgeous view tonight from the Goodyear Blimp.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that a great setting?
It is nice indeed.
Be there all weekend long, baby.
Yeah, a lot happening in downtown Cleveland. Great weather expected. The air show, and Indians baseball. Now Matt Laporta, who since his most recent recall has been on fire for the Tribe, and he'll take that first pitch for a strike.
I remember I watched a game from up in that blimp one year.
That's right.
You know, we did it. I was up there for about three innings.
What was the view like for you up there?
It was pretty cool. Tommy ended up hitting a home run in that ball game to center field, and I saw it from the blimp. That was cool. Then came back here about middle of the game. It only goes about 20, 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's very slow. Laporta drives that one to right. Here comes Kadire, and he'll make the catch. Pretty nice one there, too. As Travis Hafner goes back to first base. So Laporta is out number 1 here in the second inning.
Well, a tough one to really read when you're a base runner. You don't know if he's going to get there. He was thinking of diving for it, but he catches up to it. So he's able to make the catch. Hafner did a good job. He was able to get back easily, but let's see, almost tripped there. It's one of those tweener plays where you don't know if he's going to catch it, and you've got to move, because if he doesn't and he one-hops it, you got to get to second base as well.
So now Luis Valbuena with the runner at first and 1 away here in the bottom of the second inning. And he'll take that breaking pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Now, when you were up in that blimp, Rick, did they have a monitor for you? Were you able to call
no
the
monitor.
Game?
No,
so you could actually,
I mean, I was wired up, but I couldn't.
So you actually called the game from up there? You could.
Well, they had a real long cord that they dangled down. It was plugged in. We just couldn't go too far around the ballpark with that monitor.
Tethered, huh?
Picked it up down at Burke Lakefront. Dropped me back off, and I came here about the 6th, 7th inning.
Now, you know what would have been really cool if you would have parachuted back in. Now, that would have been nice.
Glad you weren't the producer of that show.
Better try to talk you into that, yeah.
I know it.
0-2 here to Valbuena. And he hits that one high in the air to the right side of the infield. Going out is the second baseman, Casilla. Make the catch for the second out. The Gathering Place supports, educates, and empowers individuals and families touched by cancer. And they do this free of charge from 2 locations, Beechwood and Westlake. This season, Matt and Rick are donating $5 each, and Great Clips will donate $50 for every Indians home run to this great organization. Total year to date is $8,460. For more information, visit touchedbycancer.org. Truly a worthwhile cause there.
Well, we went on the road, and they had homered in 8 straight games.
Yeah.
So they were on a pretty good roll hitting home runs. We got to get them going here in this ballpark.
Here's Andy Marte taking a strike, and the Indians had that home run drought.
Yeah, 10 games.
And then all of a sudden, started going yard again.
That's the thing. When you look at them, they've out-homered. Cleveland has hit 89 homers on the road, just 52 at home. You know, and I mean, it's the same when you look at the visitors. There's only been 107 home runs in this ballpark this year. It's one of the toughest to hit a ballpark. I think 23rd or 24th.
And what's more amazing about that, it was back in 94, 95, 96 when this ballpark first opened, people were calling it a bandbox because the Indians hit so many homers.
Well, I think it's because of the hitter. I think it was because of the hitters we had when you look at Tomey, Ramirez, and Bell.
Yeah, absolutely. Marte grounds out there to end the second inning. So we'll go to the third. Still scoreless here at Progressive Field. Planning with the grandkids.
That's right. There's Sue. Grandkids up in front. There's Pat Kilkenny back there. Her daughter Shelly. The little one in the red, Nick. AJ with the blue. Enjoying a ball game here from a great shot right there.
Dugout suite. Great night for a ball game. So, folks having a good time here tonight as we head to the top of the third inning. Thus far, a pitcher's duel. The early going here as we'll see hitters 7, 8, 9 in the Minnesota lineup. Harris, Gomez, and Casilla. Jeremy Sowers has retired the first 6. And he throws a pitch down low for a ball. So Brendan Harris getting the start at third base tonight. Can play several different positions on the infield for the Twins. Take a pitch there for a strike. Brendan Harris 2 for 5 in his career against Sowers with a couple of doubles. Hitting .269 overall this year. Pitch in the dirt. 2-1 now to Brendan Harris. No score in the top of the third inning. First game of a 3-game series between the Indians and Minnesota. Tomorrow's game at 4:10. There is no TV on that one. It's in the Fox window, and they're not broadcasting.
They threw us out of the ballpark tomorrow.
Harris drives that one to deep left, but Jamie Carroll gets there in a hurry. Got under it, makes the catch for 1 out. Well, Rick and I are married, but if you're getting engaged, you can buy your engagement ring at Albin's. And if it rains on your wedding day, your engagement ring is free. Visit albinsjewelers.com for more details. albinsjewelers.com.
Did you say we're married?
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, seriously. I mean, we worked together one time and we're already married. Let's not rush things.
Yeah, that just didn't come out right, did it?
No, it didn't.
Should say Rick is married to Sue and I'm married to Jessica.
Now
we've confirmed.
No, now you've confirmed.
Carlos Gomez, the batter, and he'll take a pitch inside 1-1. So 1 out here in the third inning. Carlos Gomez batting 8th in Gardenhire's lineup here today. Looks at that pitch away. 2-1. And as you were talking about earlier, Rick, you know it's September. There's no shadows
right
on the field when we started. Couldn't see the sun anywhere. Gomez bloops that one to short right. Valbuena says, I got it. Makes the catch. And quickly there are 2 away here in the top of the 3rd.
Well, visit our participating Northeast Ohio Subway location and pick up your coupon for half off Upper Box Indians tickets. Coupons can be redeemed at the Progressive Field box office or at any Indians team shop. And the next Subway half off ticket game will be Friday, September 25th against the Baltimore Orioles.
So 2 away here in the 3rd inning, and the 9-hitter in the Twins lineup, Alexei Casilla, takes a pitch for a strike. There's the numbers on Casilla this year. He bounces that one to second.
Sowers.
Counterpart Valbuena throws him out. And Jeremy, 9 up, 9 down. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Still no score. Indians and Twins tonight in downtown Cleveland. Brantley and Jamie Carroll as its hitters 9-1 and 2 in Eric Wedge's lineup here in the 3rd inning. Just 1 hit tonight for both sides. That belongs to Jamie Carroll, who had a double back in the 1st inning. Carl Pavano, the former tribesman, on the hill tonight for Minnesota. There was a pitch outside to Kelly Shopping for ball 1. Now, Rick Kelly has caught Carl Pavano most of this season.
Right.
Does he have much of an advantage here?
I would say, yeah. I mean, you know what his ball does. You got to just sit down and look for a pitch that you want to hit. If you're looking fastball, then you better take that pitch right there, the changeup. And if you want to sit on the if you look fastball, I'd look fastball in because Pavano likes to throw that fastball in early in the count. You know, and Shopping likes the fastball. If you look for something you can hit into the bleachers, Kelly's always looking to do that. There it was. That's what I was looking for.
That was the pitch you told him to sit on, and it was right down the middle for a strike.
And, you know, if you get into a guessing game with a guy that you caught, you go with his strengths. That's all. And Kelly will probably look at counts and situations, figuring what he would call, and, you know, look for that pitch.
Pavano ahead of him 1-2 here, and a swing and a miss. So Kelly Shopping, a strikeout victim. First strikeout tonight for Carl Pavano when we go back to the top of the order.
Well, visit the official online shop of the Cleveland Indians at Indians.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic merchandise, including caps, T-shirts, and jerseys and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop at Indians.com.
Here's Michael Brantley leading off tonight for the Tribe for the first time in his major league career, leading off here tonight. And he'll take that pitch for a strike. Michael Brantley in the leadoff spot because if you haven't heard, Grady Sizemore has been shut down today for the remainder of the season. And he's got couple of surgeries that they're going to take care of.
Well, get it done. Get it done all at once. Get in there.
Grounded in the hole for a base hit for Michael Brantley.
Isn't that funny how see that top spin?
Yep. Spun right there to right, so he'll build on that 364 average. Second hit for the Indians tonight. And Grady Sizemore talked earlier today about having to take some time off here, and Grady's not the type of guy that likes to take time off, that's for sure.
We sat down and discussed the options, and I understand. It's one of those things that's we have to look for next year and put myself in as best possible shape and not shape, but just best possible physically healthy, I guess you could say, for next year. Make sure that give myself plenty of time to heal and able to work out and get back to where I want to be for the start of next season.
So Grady Sizemore done for the rest of the year now, but we'll be ready for spring training next year, and that, of course, the important thing.
Well, I'll be able to start all baseball-related drills by November 1st. So that's really the season's over October 4th.
Right.
So it's no big deal. He'll be fine. They wouldn't let him continue if he was going to do more damage to it than what was already there.
So now Jamie Carroll at the plate. He had that double back in the first inning. Michael Brantley on first with one out, an 0-1 count. Brantley, of course, has that speed.
Well, and Pavano's a guy you can run on. We witnessed it, when he was starting for the Indians. So if Brantley has the green light over there, he can run until they tell him not to, which I like. 29 of 35, and he hasn't picked anybody off. So get your lead and pick a pitch that you think will be a changeup, which this could be right here because Carroll likes the fastball, and go.
Pavano making sure he stays close. Brantley was 46 of 51 in stolen base attempts this season for AAA Columbus, and he was tied for first in the International League, still is with those 46. Also third in runs scored with 80. So he's your guy that you like at the top of the order and get him on.
He's 1 for 2 this year. He had a good jump in Detroit. I think it was yesterday, and Laird just made a perfect throw. It might have been the day before Saturday, or I don't even know what day it is.
Brantley bluffed there. Carroll drives it into left center for a base hit. Brantley will have to hold at second base. So Jamie Carroll 2 for 2 tonight. The Indians with runners at first and second here in the bottom of the third with one out.
It looks like Jamie Carroll comes here and gets that little, I don't know if that was a two-seam fastball, maybe a changeup. But he is 2 for 2. So now with one out, the Indians with runners at first and second and a chance to get on the board here for Asdrubal Cabrera.
Now the heart of the order, Cabrera will be followed by Peralta and then Hafner. Asdrubal hit the ball hard but lined out to left field his first time up.
I always felt when you were a guy, let's say these guys played behind Pavano, and they're middle infielders. I always used to like to face pitchers that I played behind because you had a pretty good idea what they were going to do. I mean, now you may not get hit because you guess the pitch right. You still have to execute. You still have to get on top of it. You still have to hit it hard. But you still have a pretty darn good idea what he's going to do.
And Pavano just misses there. So it's 1-1 now. And the Indians have put some good swings on the ball. They've had some louder outs in the first couple of innings. And now the second time through the order. And Brantley and Carroll both get singles, and now Asdrubal Cabrera trying to join the hit parade and perhaps put the Indians on top. A pitch on the corner for a strike.
That's a good pitch.
It's a very good. And Pavano's been all right around the corners of the plate so far tonight.
Well, he's got great control. We told you that. Now you see Cabrera's leaning away. That pitch comes back. That's an excellent pitch because he couldn't hit it. Now he chokes up a lot on the bat, but that's a pitch where you just throw it in there. Now you get ahead. If you get him looking in there, you can go change up or you can double up and go back in there like that, and just missed.
It appeared Larry Vanover flinched a little bit, but he didn't call the strike. 2-2 now to Asdrubal Cabrera. Tough to lay off that pitch, especially when the pitch before was called for a strike.
I know they doubled up on you, but Pavano, when you go in there as a pitcher, you want to make sure you get it in off the plate. You're not going to miss on the plate and give him a chance to hit it because Cabrera can go down and get that pitch.
The 2-2. That one is hit down the left field line, slicing, and it's foul into the seats. So we'll do it again at 2-2.
This pitch elevated. And Cabrera fouls it off down the line.
A look from the Goodyear blimp. Indians at first and second. One out here in the bottom of the third. Scoreless. As Carl Pavano gets ready to throw the 2-2 pitch to Asdrubal Cabrera. And he hits that one, and one hop more. No, nice play to second for one. To first, Pavano covering, threw it away into the dugout, and the Indians will get a run.
Boy, that's a tough throw for any shortstop to make when the pitcher, he has to lead the pitcher to the bag. I'm a little surprised that Cabrera tried to make that throw with Pavano covering first. Because you've got the guy on second. If it's not a perfect throw and he doesn't catch it, then the runner's going to score anyway. Because he's going to round third and try and pick up the baseball. You know, it's a great play by Morneau to pick it. Now, you see, Carl was just a hair late getting over there. That part of it's very good, but you have to lead the pitcher. And, you know, you're expecting Pavano to be over there like he's, you know, an infielder or something like that. The throw was just a little out of reach, little out of his range. So I'm sure the error will go on Cabrera. The Indians take a 1-0 lead on that error.
So now Johnny Peralta will bat with the runner on second and 2 outs as Asdrubal Cabrera takes the extra base. That ball went out of play. So 1-0 Tribe. It'll be an unearned run. The Indians will take it.
Yeah, absolutely they'll take it.
There's Cabrera leading away at second. The 1-0 pitch. Peralta drives that one to left field. That one will get down and go to the wall. Cabrera scores easily. Peralta on his way to second. Johnny with a stand-up double, and the Indians a 2-0 lead.
Well, there you go. That error, and it doesn't matter. They still would have scored anyway because it's a clutch hit by Peralta. So this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. How can't you love double down the line? He turned on that ball nicely. Tried to run one by him inside, and he gets it past Denard Span to the wall. That scores Cabrera. The Indians have got 2 on the board. And for Peralta, that is his 30th double.
Johnny comes through with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Gets the RBI. 2-0 Tribe. And now Peralta at second base with Travis Hafner, who walked his first time up at the plate. Travis swings and misses at that breaking ball low and inside. So 0-1 now to Travis. So the Indians with 2 runs home here in the bottom half of the third inning. And they lead at 2-0 over Minnesota. Travis drives that one to right. That one will get down in front of Kadire. Here comes Peralta. He'll score. 3-0 Indians. 2-out RBI for Travis Hafner.
Yeah, the big 2-out base hit. That's what they did yesterday late in the ball game. At Detroit, they got a couple of big 2-out RBIs, but that one was to tie the game, and they put a 3 spot on the board in the 8th inning. This is to take the lead. There's a pitch down and in, a fastball. Boy, Travis went down and hit that one nicely. So another 2-out base hit. It's now 3-0 Tribe, and they have 5 hits and 4 in this inning.
So Hafner's aboard at first, and now Matt Laporta, who flew out his first time up, takes a pitch for a ball. So the Indians with 3 runs home here in the third, and Rick, you'll love to see those 2-out RBI base hits, don't you?
They're their toughest hit in baseball to get. And it seems like once somebody gets one, it takes a lot of pressure off the rest of that team or the rest of the offense, and they just relax. And they put good swings on the baseball.
Laporta hits that one off the end of the bat. There comes Casilla. He'll make the play. And the Indians are retired here in the third, but they score 3. They're up 3-0. We'll head to the fourth. 3-zip. Tribe. A blast out on the plaza between the Q and Progressive Field, but things inside the ballpark as well. As we go to the top of the fourth, Jeremy Sowers staked to a 3-0 lead now. As Minnesota will go through the order for a second time. Sowers has retired the first 9 Twins, and he delivers strike one to Denard Span here in the fourth.
Well, very effective for Sowers. 38 pitches, 23 strikes.
And tonight's scoreboard update is brought to you by Wendy's. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's.
He's 7 of 10 first pitch strikes tonight.
And now 1-1 to Denard Span with that .313 average. That's fourth among all American League leadoff hitters. And he hits that one to center.
This guy hits .341 against left-handed pitchers, period.
Brantley was right there in the path, records it for out number 1. And Denard Span is definitely one of the good ones here in the AL Central, no question. So now Orlando Cabrera, who flew out to right field his first time up. 1 out here in the fourth inning. 3-0 Cleveland. Cabrera fouls that one back. Jeremy Sowers, 26 years old. Went back to Vanderbilt to finish off his degree before the 2006 season. Has a political science degree. Pitches a ball, 1-1 now to Orlando Cabrera.
Well, last time Cabrera was here, he hit his 400th double. That was August 4th, and that was part of that 22-game hitting streak that he had.
Now from July 8th to August 13th, career high 22-game hitting streak, 34 for 97 for a .351 average. That one just inside. Now it's 3-1.
You know, but the bottom line and the reason why the Twins are just 1 game over 500 boils down to the pitching. Normally that's their strength, their strong suit. Last year they went with the 4 rookies and they had good years all together. But this year it's just been Liriano has struggled. He's 5-12, an ERA of over 5.
And Cabrera lines that one to center field for the first Twins hit of the night. So he's aboard with 1 out here in the fourth inning. And now Joe Mauer to the plate. It's time now for the All Care Dental and Dentures Smiling Easy Cam. And we'd like to say hello to our All Care friends in Canton who are watching tonight's game. Plenty of smiles at the ballpark tonight. All Care Dental and Dentures, we make seeing the dentist easy, and he always laughs at the ballpark. And boy, last month of baseball season, better get out here if you haven't. Take advantage of some of this great weather.
So that's something to smile about when you have weather like this. And
so Joe Mauer, who grounded out to first base his first time up, takes strike one from Jeremy Sowers. He'll bat here in the fourth with a runner on and 1 out. Joe Mauer now 4 for 13 in his career with a homer against Jeremy Sowers.
Here's another guy that rarely swings at a first pitch. You know, he'll go up there and he's very patient. He'll take it. And then with the one time you think you're going to throw one by him to get ahead, he's ready for it.
It's that one to left. Jamie Carroll cruises over to make the catch. Hustling back to first is Orlando Cabrera, who is almost at second base. And there are 2 away here in the fourth inning. Here's today's Direct Energy bringing the gas sequence. Sowers against Morneau back in the second inning.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Morneau was leading off the second inning. Jeremy has just been pounding that strike zone, gets ahead of him and get another foul ball. Missed upstairs, gets him to chase that breaking ball away.
Direct Energy offering simple solutions for all of your natural gas supply needs. So Morneau, the only strikeout victim for Jeremy Sowers tonight, takes the ball here with 2 outs now in the top of the fourth inning. Runner on first. And Justin Morneau is now 0 for his last 9. Hit his last home run back on August 25th. He's been on 29 now for a little while. That pitch is outside. So 2-0 to Justin Morneau. Half of the Twins' 21st century version of the M&M Boys. Well, he and Mauer back-to-back in the lineup, just murder on pitchers. Now the 2-0.
Oh, yeah.
Put that one right in there for the strike.
That's the thing that Jeremy, has been able to do this year. There's times he gets through. He looks brilliant in the first 5 innings, or he can get through, that lineup twice. And then he had problems earlier in the year where that third time through he's really scuffled, but he's been battling his way through that, and he's worked together, and he's worked his way through some of this.
And his stats, if you look at them, and just the feel that he's had in the last month, Rick, has been much better than it was earlier in the season. What would you attribute that to? Is that just part of the maturation process?
Yeah, learning process. He goes out there and, up and down and up and down, and, it's hard to figure out. You'd have to ask him.
Ground ball to first. Marte, easy play. Twins are done in the 4th inning. We'll head to the bottom half. Indians lead it 3-0. The bottom of the 4th inning here at Progressive Field, 3-0 Indians, and looks like they're playing a little cornhole out there. Always fun things to do here at the ballpark, and here's another up in Prongville. Luis Valbuena leads it off the line drive, base hit to right center field. Kadire over to cut it off. Valbuena will take a wide turn at first, hold there with a single, and Luis Valbuena continues his very solid second half at the plate. And we will take a pause for a station ID break. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. A look from the Goodyear blimp down at downtown Cleveland tonight. Temperature was 69 degrees at first pitch, maybe a degree or two cooler since then, but what a nice night for a game here in downtown Cleveland. Andy Marte now at the plate, fouls that one off for strike one. So the Indians with the runner on first, nobody out here in the 4th inning. They lead it 3-0. Andy Marte grounded out to third, his first time up back in the 2nd inning. A pitch on the inside corner, now 0-2 to Andy Marte. Rick, Andy mostly played third base in Columbus. He's been exclusively at first base thus far up here. Is that a huge change for a guy like Marte?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different moves and so many different things you got to do. You say it's from one side to the other, but they're not the same. It takes a while to get used to it. You're taking the short hops of throws as Marte goes down.
Second strikeout victim for Cleveland Indians tonight. First out here in the fourth inning. Let's go back to our STO studios for a Ford Sports update with Dave Chudowski. What's happening, Dave?
Hey, Al, someone's trying to call up those hot Yankees. They've won 7 in a row. They're in Toronto tonight. Here's Adam Lind. He's having a good year. It's a double to score Aaron Hill. It's a good pitching matchup. Chamberlain and Halladay. Right now it's the Blue Jays 3-zip in the third. Back to you.
Dave, thanks. Adam Lind, he's having himself a nice year. Displaying some power, too.
So is Hill. They both are, yeah.
Kelly Shopping now, who struck out his first time up, swings and gets a foul tip for strike one here. With a runner on first base and one out. Bottom of the fourth inning, 3-0 Tribe. Carl Pavano at 52 pitches right now. 40 of them have been for strikes. I'll go through the signals again with Joe Mauer. Carl Pavano was just the third Minnesota Twin they've acquired in the middle of a season with 9 or more wins. Back in 1943, the then Washington Senators acquired Bobo Newsom after he won 10 games with the Brooklyn Dodgers and St. Louis Browns. And then the Twins acquired your former teammate, Bert Blyleven, back in 1985 from the Indians.
And who did Bert get traded for? Do you remember?
Wait a mined. I was going to say Larry Littleton.
And then the guy ended up hitting a home run off him in his first at-bat.
Jay Bell.
You got it. See?
It took me a second.
That a boy.
had to shake the memory banks for you there. That's right. He did hit that homer off. 0-2 here on Shopping. And a swing and a miss. So Carl Pavano has gotten the better of his former battery mate thus far tonight as Shopping goes down on strikes for the second time. Third strikeout for Pavano, his second in a row. And now back to the top of the order, and Michael Brantley.
Well, you continue the celebration of Labor Day weekend here at Progressive Field Sunday when this series will close out. All kids 14 and under, they can receive an onion doll. And I know that's one of your favorites, Al, the hot dog races.
Oh, yes.
Also, Kids Fun Day. Run the bases after the game. Get out to the plaza for the pregame activities.
I don't think onion is treated fairly, though. It seems that ketchup is always doing something that ketchup, shouldn't be doing, cheating or taking a shortcut.
Well, if you go out and have your hot dog, what do you put on it?
Ketchup, mustard, onion, and relish. Sure.
Well, then where's the relish? You got to submit
We'll have to get that as the fourth one. We'll have a discussion. Maybe we can get a fourth hot dog out there.
You can get the comment box. You can drop it in on the way out. I'll show you where it's at.
I appreciate that. Michael Brantley 1 for 2 with the run scored tonight. Takes a strike. He's leading off tonight in place of Grady Sizemore, who, if you're just joining us, has been shut down now for the rest of the season. So Michael Brantley will most likely be the Indians' everyday center fielder now from here on out.
Let's not forget, now we still have Trevor Crow that could play center field, and he was activated today off the disabled list. So I'm sure Trevor may see some time out there as well. But now through this last month, they have a legitimate chance to look at guys at different positions and see where they want to play them. I'm looking for Matt Laporta maybe to even get a few starts at first base. That's a rarity when you see him leaning in the dugout like that, huh? With a jacket on.
Look on his face. He's not having. There's a smile.
Watch, he's trying to talk to Prong. There's only so many times. Yeah, that guy was meant to play. He's never meant to sit.
Yeah, and you can tell he sincerely wants to play, Rick. Some guys say, "Oh, I'd like to be out there," but they don't mean it. But Grady means it.
No, you just can't play hurt. This game's tough enough to play when you're healthy. For a 162-game clip, especially the way that guy plays.
Yeah, he plays 100% every single time, regardless of the score, regardless of where you're at in the standings.
That's right. But, if you're going to have a time where you can sit, this is the year to do it.
There's Valbuena leading away at first. A little bluff there, and Brantley lifts that high in the air to short left field. Coming on his span, he'll make the catch. And the Indians done here in the fourth inning. We'll head to the top of the fifth. 3-0 Tribe. And by Altel Wireless. Choose who you call for free with My Circle. Any number, any network. 3-0 Tribe as we head to the 5th inning. A gorgeous Cleveland skyline there. There's a clever way to get STO in. Sizemore plus Tribe equals outstanding. STO, very good. As we say, you get creative with the signs. We will do our best to get you on. So here in the 5th inning, it's Kubel, Kadire, and Harris. Hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the Twins lineup. And Kubel, the designated hitter tonight, who's 0 for 1 with the ground out, takes strike 1. Sowers has given up just 1 base hit tonight. And pitch just misses. 1-1 now from Jeremy Sowers to Jason Kubel, the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Jason Kubel now 0 for 9 his career against Sowers. Still looking for that first hit.
Well,
there it is.
You said 0 for 9, and there it is.
Blame me as that ball heads to the wall and Kubel heads to second for a double.
There's no question. That kid, I mean, it's been a 3-headed monster when you talk about Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel against the Indians this year, so you're not going to keep him down for long. Double number 26. Looked like he picked down a hanging breaking ball from Sowers. He left that ball inside third, and that's not where you want to keep it, is upstairs. Kubel having a fine year, and he drills that one down into the corner. Just the second hit allowed by Sowers.
So that puts Kubel at second base with nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. And Michael Kadire, who flew out his first time up at the plate. There's a strike. Michael Kadire, 30 years old, from Norfolk, Virginia. Sits safely in 21 of his last 27 games. And he hits that one on the ground back to Sowers, and he'll take the out at first base. And not advancing is Kubel. He looked like he wanted to go, Rick, and then wasn't sure.
You know what happened? He was smart. You can't do that because Sowers wasn't even going to look at him. But because it's a 3-run lead, he wanted the out.
Right.
But as a base runner, you can't get caught. You're in scoring position. So Sowers catches the ball. He didn't look, and he says, man, I wanted to go. It was really a tough call. Watch him think about it. But now Sowers turns and goes to third base thinking he's going to run, and then he goes back. You got to be safe.
Yep.
You're down 3 runs, middle part of the ball game. You can't get thrown out.
So now Brendan Harris with an opportunity. Runner on second base, 1 out. Brendan Harris with a fly out to left. His first time up back in the 3rd inning. Hits it again to left. On his horse is Carroll. Won't get there. It's down for a base hit. Kubel will come in. Harris, big turn at first. Went about halfway, but heads back. So it's an RBI single for Brendan Harris. Twins on the board. 3-1 Cleveland.
And that right there is why you can't take that chance, because you're in scoring position. The next guy comes up, gets a base hit. And the Twins are on the board now. It's 3-1. Brendan Harris is 33rd RBI, and this guy normally shoots a lot of balls to right center field, but the second time he has pulled the ball off Jeremy Sowers. So Kubel comes in to score, their 3rd hit, and they are on the board.
So it's a 2-run game now here in the top of the 5th inning. Runner on first with 1 out, and a swing and a miss by Carlos Gomez, who popped out to Luis Valbuena at second base, his first time up back in the 3rd inning. The numbers on Gomez, one of the players in the Johan Santana trade, came over from the Mets.
Well, you know, they thought he was going to be some kind of special because he could run, you know, and they thought he was going to be a leadoff hitter, which he hit the first year he came over. And then, you know, he's been down into the number 9 hole.
Now, he seems to have regressed a little bit. Would you say it's his regression or the American League knowing how to pitch?
It's a little bit of both, because
back?
he hasn't adjusted. He hasn't played as much as he normally does. He had a time where he was sitting because Span was going to play out there, and they had Young they were getting time in with Kadire. This is a guy that has to utilize his speed, his wheels, his legs, and he swings so hard. He hits too many balls in the air, and it almost looks like he wants to be a home run hitter and not a guy that gets on base. He can run like the wind. He's very fast. He's a good center fielder. He's an excellent center fielder. He's got a good throwing arm. He's a guy that should be bunting, you know, just to do anything you can to get on base for this team.
When you look at Minnesota's outfield, Kubel, who's the DH tonight, is also an outfielder. Well, when Kadyr's healthy and Span, and those three guys are going to play.
But Kubel's not a very good outfielder. We saw him play here the last time he was in, and he butchered a couple balls. So, you know, when you're Twins and you're a pitching defensive-oriented club, you want your best defense out there.
Another line drive to left, another base hit. Stopping at second base is Harris. One-out single for Carlos Gomez. Minnesota now has something brewing here in the fifth inning. One run already in. And now with runners at first and second and one out, Alexei Casilla is going to have a chance.
Well, but a fastball upstairs. Now Jeremy's got to get that ball down a little bit. He's elevated a couple pitches in this inning, and the Twins have 3 hits out of the first 4 hitters.
Fourth hit total tonight. Jeremy Sowers began the game on fire, retired the first 10 batters he faced. But since then, Minnesota's gotten 4 hits in the next 7 batters. And now Casilla, who grounded out to second, steps in with that 195 average. Infield a double play depth here. And there's a grounder to third. Peralta steps on third, one, throw across, got him, double play. Jeremy Sowers out of the inning on the 5-3 Twin killing. So Minnesota gets one in the fifth. The Tribe still leads it 3-1. Thank you. So what's the difference between the ball and the donut?
It's a lot harder. That's 50 pounds of pressure.
Oh, okay, it's like a squish. Then yeah, I was just playing with this one.
That'll make it hard. Maybe I want to grab it too hard.
Bottom of the fifth here in Cleveland. Gorgeous shot from the Goodyear blimp as the sun is setting over the lake. Boy, that afterglow is absolutely beautiful. Perfect night for a ball game here tonight downtown.
Look at that nice pink hue, huh?
Yeah, that is gorgeous. I tell you, Cleveland is so underrated. It really is. And this summer has been just so nice weather-wise. And some gorgeous sunsets there on the lake. If you're downtown around dusk, boy, you can see some of the best anywhere. Here's Jamie Carroll in the bottom of the fifth inning. He solved Carl Pavano tonight.
That's going to be another hit.
He might be 3 for 3. Trying to beat it out, does. And he'll have more as he'll head down to second base. Throw was wild by the third baseman, Brendan Harris. So Carroll is on second with nobody out here in the fifth inning. And boy, Jamie Carroll, a couple of singles and a double tonight for the Tribe.
Well, that one is like the swing and bunt. I knew as soon as it was down there, it's going to be a base hit. I don't know why Harris really tried to throw that ball. Looked like he might have hurt his shoulder doing it, throwing it underhand. Because, look at, he whipped it, landed on his shoulder. He wasn't going to get him even with a perfect throw.
Yeah.
So that's where, you know, he had, I don't think Harris has been playing a lot of third base, but you got to make that decision, know who's running. Now you give them the extra base after they just cut the lead or they got on the board, made it 3-1. A good opportunity for the Indians to come right back and get that run back.
And now Asdrubal Cabrera. Reached on a fielder's choice. Fouls that one off.
That's the second error of the night for the Twins, and they come in. They only had 59 errors. They were leading the league in fielding percentage, but their second error on the night.
So we'll try now to make him pay.
He's still got 4 less errors than anybody. Well, I take that back. Make it 2 more. The Angels have 63.
And this Minnesota team historically has been a good fielding team.
Yeah, they always have. You're right. They don't beat themselves. They play good defense. And they play in that, that dome where, they have the advantage. Next year may not be that way when they're going outside the target field. It's going to be all new.
It's very true. That pitch fouled away. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Asdrubal Cabrera. And that new field in Minnesota. It's going to be interesting, Rick, because since 1982 when the Metrodome opened, you've seen the Twins constructed as a team for a dome, as it should be. How many of these players, this style they play, this a lot of small ball, how much of that are we going to see now with this new ball?
Well, that's a good question. Nobody knows. I mean, that's what you're going to have to wait and see next year.
Now I know 1-2.
I know one thing. When you have the guy behind the plate, Mauer, and Morneau at first base, it doesn't matter what ballpark you play in.
You can play for anybody
players,
anytime.
Or Kubel, or Kadire. You just have to wait and see. But I guarantee you, they're going to be competitive no matter how you look at it. But from what I understand, I hear that ballpark's only going to be 365 to the power alleys. That's a bandbox.
Yep. Now you figure with longer springs, colder springs, that might make up for it. As Cabrera fouls that one off again. But still, in June, July, August, it gets pretty hot there in Minneapolis. Ball can be flying
it's
out
going
of
to
there.
translate. I don't look. People say, "Oh, they're not going to have a dome. You guys will get snowed out." It's going to. I don't see it being any different than it is here. Really.
Yeah.
We've been snowed out here before too, and we've been rained out and colded out, and
we've had it all. You can say that. San Diego's very boring, and so is Anaheim. It's sunshine and perfect weather every time.
They don't even need tarps there.
No. What fun is that? 2-2 now to Cabrera. He swings and misses. Fair point. And that's the 4th strikeout of the night for Carl Pavano. Hey, before today's game, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, there's Rover, the WMMS morning man. Oh, no. That was a 30-footer.
Yeah, we'll have to move him up a little bit more. That didn't even hit dirt.
I think Maxwell could have at least gotten it to the plate. Now, we were playing cricket. That would have been a strike, right?
I don't know. No, it might have been a little high off the bounce.
Okay, that's a fair point. But, if you'd had 2 pitches, maybe you could have added another 30 on and got to the 60.
That was embarrassing.
Oh, yes. Rover, you can check him out on WMMS for the morning show. Johnny Peralta here. Had that 2-out RBI double his last time up back in the 3rd inning when the Indians put their 3 runs on the board. He's got another shot here with 1 out, and Carroll at second base. There goes Carroll.
Beautiful read.
And he steals 3rd without a throw.
What a beautiful read by Jamie Carroll. He had him timed. And they weren't pinching him in there. And Jamie Carroll's not a base stealer. But you have to stop the runner from going 2nd to 3rd. And if you don't stop me at a walking lead, watch this. See, Casilla did not do a good job holding him close at second base. So he stole that one off Pavano. Harris couldn't get there in time, so Carroll gets his 2nd stolen base, and it was a beautifully timed bag.
And the Twins will pull the infield in, try to cut the run down at the plate in this 2-run ball game. 1-1 to Johnny Peralta, and he hits that one on the ground foul outside the bag at 3rd. So now Peralta down 1-2, but Jamie Carroll with that stolen base, Rick, you've got to love the way this guy plays baseball. Just he gets the little swinging bunt, as you said. He's 3 for 3 tonight, takes 2nd on a wild throw, goes to 3rd on the stolen base, and there he is with 1 out.
He's a guy that maximizes the talent. A little guy, not great at anything, but he's very good at a lot of different things.
The 1-2 to Peralta, pitch high and tight, 2-2, and Jamie Carroll once said, never giving up has been instilled from his family. He said it came from a blue-collar background that just said take what you've got and just maximize it all you can.
Well,
it's what he does.
It obviously shows.
I was talking to him earlier in the season when he was batting around 300 and the average dipped below it. His dad wanted to know why the average dipped below 300. So you can't have that.
Because I didn't get any hits today, Dad. That's why.
Peralta with a good eye there to run the count full. As Carl Pavano just delivered his 71st pitch tonight. 52 of those have been for strikes. So now a full count with Carroll on third base as Travis Hafner is on deck. Pavano from the windup. Swing and a miss. So he strikes out Johnny Peralta. It's Pavano's 5th strikeout tonight and 4th here in the last couple of innings. There comes Rick Anderson, the pitching coach.
Have you planned your group picnic yet? The Indians offer a one-of-a-kind venue. It's at Progressive Field. You can choose from a variety of affordable food and beverages. Call 216-420-HITS for information.
Picnic's always a blast here at Progressive Field. Rick Anderson talking to Carl Pavano. Now, Rick, is he saying, hey, pitch around Hafner, or is he saying your choice with what you want to do with him?
Well, you look at it. You got the rookie Matt Laporte on deck. You got Hafner, a left-handed bat, a right-handed bat. He's going over the scenario, the situations. Hafner just got a base hit in his last at-bat off Pavano. And he has retired Laporte twice tonight. So, he's saying, let's not give him anything good to hit. Make him reach for it or do something. Or if you have to walk him, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Hafner hasn't made an out tonight. He walked in the second inning and then had that RBI single in the third.
Always make the rookie beat you.
The pitch just inside for a ball.
And not going to give him anything to swing at. Right. The first time up, even though he walked him, he pounded him inside and stayed there. So if he wants to swing at a pitch in there and, hit it off his thumbs, go right ahead.
That's what he's going to do. Stay inside.
This is going to be the old unintentional, intentional walk, I think. Yeah, there they go. Yep. They gave 2 shots to stay inside. Hafner didn't swing, so you put him on Smart. Now you go after Laporta. So, you've gotten that close. After the single, the error, the stolen base, he got the strikeout to keep him there. You don't want to mess it up now because your offense just got on the board in the top half of the inning.
Right. That's a good strategy. Now the rookie Laporta will get a chance with 2 outs and 2 on.
That's his first walk of the night.
And just a reminder, there's still time to vote in our Alltel text poll. Today's question, who do you think has been the Indians' minor league player of the year? Santana, Rondon, Chisenhall, Gomez, or Brantley? Text your answer to 31962. We'll have the results for you coming up later in tonight's game. Carlos Santana named the Eastern League MVP to follow up the California League MVP award that he won last year. Porta takes that pitch for a ball. And the other thing about Santana getting that California League MVP award, that was after he was traded. He wasn't even there in the month of August, and he still got the MVP last year, so he's a special player, that's for sure. So Matt Laporta now 1-0 to him. Flew out and grounded out his previous 2 times at the plate. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. So now 1-1.
An intentional walk to Hafner. He has 2 walks. He's walked Hafner twice tonight. And that was it.
There's Carroll at third. Hafner at first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-1 Cleveland. Matt Laporta seeing if he can get another one home. On the outside corner with the breaking ball. And now 1-2 to Laporta. Matt Laporta this year has hit right-handers better than left-handers. Coming into tonight's game, 296 off of righties while just 217 against lefties. Strange. It's usually the other way around, especially for a young player.
Because his changeup is so good to the left-handers. And he does throw it to righties as well. There it was.
Grounder to third. Harris with the long throw.
Uh-oh.
And Morneau scoops it out. Nice play by Justin Morneau. That'll retire Laporta. And the Indians done here in the 5th inning. So 5 in the books, 3-1, Cleveland. And Mustard didn't do well tonight. Onion won the hot dog race.
I got Mustard.
Here's Denard Span showing bunt, taking inside for a ball to lead off the 6th inning. Well, we'll wrap up this 3-game set with Minnesota right here on Channel 3 this Sunday. Don't miss any of the action. Indians Twins. It all starts at 1 p.m. on your official Cleveland Indian station, WKYC Channel 3. Of course, tomorrow, the 4:10 game, there is no TV for that, so join us on Sunday for our next broadcast.
So that means a day off. We don't work tomorrow.
Yes, for all of us.
What are you going to do? You don't have to do the pregame.
No, it's Labor Day weekend. I think time with the family's in order.
I agree.
There's the line out to shortstop for Denard Span. He's the first out here in the top of the 6th inning. This recap is brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers and the Indians runs. The first one there on an error. Then the second one, Johnny Peralta with the 2-out RBI double. So he was on second base. And then Travis Hafner, 2-out RBI single. Indians lead at 3-1. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. So 1 out in the 6th for Cabrera. He shows bunt and takes strike. Seen a lot of Minnesota players showing bunt tonight, Rick, but so far none of them have followed through with it.
Well, maybe just trying to get Peralta in a little bit from third base. You know, not many guys like to bunt to begin with. They just want to show it to you. Although this Minnesota Twins team will. They have players that will bunt.
And now quickly, Sowers ahead here. 0-2 to Cabrera.
They're always a team that gets infield hits and bunt base hits.
A pitch in the dirt. 1-2. Jeremy is throwing 72 pitches tonight, 43 of those for strikes. Retired the first 10 batters of the game. He's given up 4 hits and 1 run. The Indians have 3 runs on 7 hits tonight. They lead at 3-1 here in the 6th inning, 1 out. And the 1-2 pitch to Orlando Cabrera. And he grounds that one to third.
Oh, boy, forget about it.
Yep. Peralta throws, but no chance. Cabrera, an infield single.
Nothing you could do about that.
Those are frustrating for the defense, for the pitcher. You do everything right.
But you know what? You make your pitch. There's nothing, as you say, there's nothing you can do with it. You just put it in your pocket. Sometimes that happens. You make too good a pitch. You jammed him. Sowers got inside on him. And actually, Johnny just should have put that ball in his pocket, not even throw it. We saw in the last inning where Harris tried to do that, and he threw the ball away, and you gave him an extra base, and Pavano had to really work to get out of that inning.
So now Joe Mauer, who's 0 for 2 tonight. 1 on, 1 out here in the 6th.
Nice pick.
Yeah, Kelly Shopik, nice glove work.
Well, this is right now is a tough inning here for Shopik to get through with a man on, 1 out. Here's the good pick. You don't give up the extra base here is one thing. The double play is still in order, but these two left-handers that are coming up next, middle part of the ball game, third time you're going through the lineup, it's a big inning for Sowers.
There's a strike. And Mauer's just so patient, Rick. You talked about him almost always taking that first pitch. A lot of times, he's such a good hitter, and he's so on it right now. He'll wait till the pitcher throws him a strike. He's got no problem going down.
Well, he's never been afraid to hit with 2 strikes, and he'll be the first to tell you. And that's knowing what the strike zone is. And any good hitter, they cannot be afraid to hit when they're down in the count.
That ball just past a diving Valbuena into center field, a base hit.
Cabrera
so on his way to third, sure was. And that'll put Twins at the corners now with 1 out here in the 6th inning.
And, he stays middle of the field other way, and that ball just had enough juice on it to get past Valbuena. If he's up the middle another step, well, that'd be just good hitting. He went down and just drove it right back up the middle. Watch, you think you got a double play ball? No, he hits it just hard enough to get it through. So now the Twins have first and third.
And Joe Mauer, Mike Pachta delivered this stat to us, has swung at the first pitch just 7% of the time, and he's a .250 hitter when he does.
Yeah, well, there you have it.
So Mauer.
And I guarantee he's hitting better than .250 with 2 strikes.
That's what he's at with 2 strikes, .250. So,
.250 on the first pitch and .250 with 2 strikes. Not bad.
Yeah, 2 strikes, right? So runners at the corners, 1 out, and an 0-1 count to Justin Morneau, who's 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground out. So the Twins threatening here, trailing the Tribe by 2. Indians scored 3 in the 3rd inning. Minnesota with 1 run in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Morneau didn't want to, but went too far. So now Justin Morneau with a 1-2 count. And watch this hook.
Well, he swung at it a couple times tonight. He hasn't been able to lay off of it. So go right back there with it. See if he goes again.
That slider there from Sowers, so effective against left-handers. Now the 1-2. That one too far outside.
Yeah, I got to try to get too much loop in there.
So now 2-2 to Justin Morneau. Twins first baseman. So get a look at the runners. Cabrera at third base. Joe Mauer at first. 1 out here in the 6th inning. Morneau hits that one in the air to left. Carroll going back. He'll have room. On the track, he'll make the catch. Tagging and scoring is Cabrera. Here goes Mauer to second. He'll make it there.
That's a heads-up play.
Yep, Morneau gets the job done. Sacrifice fly to get the run home, and then Mauer also moves up to second, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Yeah, and then that tying run gets into scoring position. You see, Sowers couldn't get that last breaking ball down, but you can't throw a fastball up. Well, he gets his job done, man, on third base. That would have been a good pitch if nobody was on. But he gets the sacrifice fly. Not only that, Mauer goes back, tags up, and he's the tying run that gets into scoring position, which is a heads-up play.
So there's Mauer at second base. And now Jason Kubel, who's 1 for 2 with a double. He'll take that pitch just outside. So 2 down with Mauer at second base. The Twins with single runs in the 5th, and then here in the 6th inning have made this a 1-run game. Two and 0 to Kubel. Sowers trying to work out of it here. Third time through the order for the Twins. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Now 2-1 as Kubel went upstairs to swing at that one.
Not exactly where Sowers wanted to throw that pitch. Watch Shopik sitting away. This one gets away up and in. Kubel's a good low ball hitter, so he got it above the belt, so he got away with it.
Jason Kubel has been compared by some to a young Brian Giles. That pitch is strike. Good pitch by Sowers.
That's where they wanted the 2-0 pitch.
So now it's 2-2 to Jason Kubel. Sowers would love to get his second strikeout of the night right here and get out of the inning. The 2-2 pitch. Outside and the count goes full. So now Jason Kubel has worked it full. There's Michael Kadire on deck. He would be next. Sowers would like to get Kubel here. 2 outs. Mauer on second base. Jeremy Sowers to deliver his 87th pitch of the night. And it hit Kubel.
Ouch. That's a dead ball.
Yep.
Got him in the arm. He was looking. They wanted to throw fastball away. He gets the fastball in, and Kubel wasn't giving anything. He was looking anything away. But he couldn't get out of the way because he was going to dive for that ball, and he'll take a hit by pitch. And now you bring up the tough right-hander. You see, he goes inside and gets him on the back arm, right on the forearm. That had to be a little stinger right there. You don't get out. That's going to say, I don't care. I'm looking away. I don't care what you do inside. He was not even thinking in.
So Carl Willis out to chat with Jeremy Sowers as the Twins now have runners at first and second and 2 outs for Michael Kadire. And aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. We've seen some gorgeous shots tonight from the blimp. Gorgeous night tonight in downtown Cleveland. Indians and Twins opening up a 3-game series tomorrow at 4:10. Although that game will have no TV, so come on out here to the ballpark, check it out. It's also a shirt off the back promo and more happening tomorrow. Sunday, Kids Fun Day, that game on Channel 3, 105. And then Indians taking on Texas Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday night special 6:05 start time for the holiday. You'll get to see Carlos Carrasco on Monday night. He's the scheduled starter. Jose Veras getting loose in the Indians bullpen. Monday night also cap night here. Saw Curtis Danberg on the pregame show, Indians on deck, sporting that. Kadire taking a pitch outside for a ball. So 1-0. Michael Kadire looking for his first hit of the night. And if he can deliver, very good chance a run will come with it. They're at first and second, 2 outs. That pitch low, Shopik, good block. Kept it in front of him, but now 2-0. So, Rick, Jeremy's struggling here in the 6th inning.
Well, you know, he's had opportunities to put hitters away. 2 left-handers. When you talk about Morneau and you talk about Kubel, he couldn't throw the breaking ball away effectively to Morneau to put him out. It was a high fastball where he got the sac fly, and he was ahead of Kubel. He just couldn't make that pitch when he had to make the pitch. He hit him with a 3-2 pitch, and now he's got to really battle to get this right-hander out.
So now the 2-0 pitch to Michael Kadire. Fouled that one straight back. He'll make the count 2-1. Brendan Harris is on deck. How would you like to be
back
a
in your
cameraman?
living room? Oh, I wouldn't mind. That would be that'd be fine. Go right off Kerry's forehead. There he is. There's Kerry.
He's got the plexiglass.
He knew it was coming. That's exactly right. He doesn't flinch.
It's a drive to center, but here comes Brantley. Right in the path of it, makes the catch. And Sowers gets out of the 6th inning, but the Twins score another. They've made it a one-run game. 3-2 Cleveland as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Three-two Cleveland as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Progressive Field. It'll be hitters 7, 8, and 9 in the Indians lineup. Valbuena, Marte, and Shopik. As Carl Pavano will work it in the 6th inning. And there's Jeremy Sowers, who just got out of the top half of the 6th. And there's his line with 91 pitches.
There's a handshake. That means he's done. 25-pitch inning for Jeremy. But he was able to get out of it and keep his team in front.
Valbuena with the swing and a miss. So Pavano ahead of him, 0-1. And tonight, Carl Pavano has done what he's pretty much done all season, keep his team in the ballgame.
That's exactly right. That's a starter's job. Give your team an opportunity. Pavano had 81 pitches.
And he's
now, it'll be a battle of the bullpens before it's all said and done.
Yep. 0-2 to Valbuena. He popped out and singled his previous 2 times at the plate. Luis Valbuena has been a hitter that's shown you some double power and also some long ball power as well.
He's got a little sock in that bat. There's no doubt about it. He's got that ball jumps off his bat. And, he's going to continue to get better once he knows the pitchers and he learns the pitchers of this league. A young kid that, has emerged this year, and he's made a nice statement for himself. He seems like he's a tough kid as well.
Drives that one to third. Harris with trouble.
Third error of the game. Wow is right.
And Brendan Harris has been having some issues over there at third base tonight. That will probably go as an error. Yep, E5.
Well, it's got to go as an error.
Yeah.
That ball is playable. And, we saw the Indians do this the other night in Detroit where they had 5 errors as a team. And this is not like Minnesota. It's just one of those nights. Every team has them. Now is when you have to take advantage of it when you're the team that's getting the breaks from a team that gives you the errors. So there's a ball that should have been one out. Now Pavano's going to have to work through another one.
So the Indians get the leadoff hitter aboard here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now Andy Marte to the plate. And he takes a look at a pitch. Down low for a ball. Marte with the ground out and strikeout. Andy with the average at 247. He was coming off a pretty good road trip where he hit safely in 8 of the 10 games. He's hit safely in 11 of his last 14. Batting .314 during that time. He and Matt Laporta both caught fire at about the same time. There goes Valbuena. Marte swings and grounds to short, but because Valbuena was running, he'll be at second base as Marte is out at first. So hit and run to perfection there. And let's take a moment to send it back to the STO update desk, our Ford update desk. Dave Jadowski's there. Dave, what's going on?
Got a battle of Sox, the red and the white. It's Boston and Chicago, and our old buddy Paul Berg giving up the homer to Mark Kotsay in the second inning to make it 2-0. That's the score right now in the third. Red Sox trying to hold off in the wild card. Back to you.
All right, Dave, thanks. And Paul Bird getting signed by the Sox. His first outing, 6 shutout innings. I mean, this guy looks like, I didn't miss a beat. I'm going to take a few months off. He's fresh.
Well, unbelievable, isn't it? He still had control.
Kelly Shopik, who struck out his first two times up, is down 0-1 here with the foul ball.
That ball looked like it was self-defense there inside on Shopping. He just went after it.
So 0-1 to Kelly. And now Mauer's going to go have a talk with him. And while he does, I'd like to remind you that the most anticipated new show of the fall comes to Channel 3 in just 10 days. The Jay Leno Show. Jerry Seinfeld, Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Rihanna are just some of the guests you'll see when the Jay Leno Show debuts on Monday, September 14th at 10 p.m. right here on WKYC Channel 3. Saw Jay doing an interview, and he's talking about how he's going to try to make 10 o'clock, 10:30 the new 11:30. It's a lot of people, you know, they go to bed early nowadays. Not like when he grew up watching the 11:30 shows and the shows after that. Pitch down low for a ball to Shopik. So 1 out with Luis Valbuena at second base. Tribe ahead here 3-2 in the 6th inning. There's Valbuena. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
No, that first pitch might have set the whole at bat up, as you see Mayhay and Crane, a guy that they just signed, the left-hander Ron Mayhay. We were in Kansas City when they let him go. Jesse Crane, the right-hander. But that first pitch in that at bat where it was way inside the Shopping, he took a swing, and now we'll see if he tries to get him out away.
Well, Pavano got him on strikes the first 2 times up, and he's ahead of him 1-2 here. Play at second base. Valbuena back safely.
Well, you see what happens when one guy steals a base. That'll keep that second baseman trying to keep you a lot closer, where you got to stop, at least stop your momentum from going to third. Jamie Carroll was able to time it beautifully last inning.
And you see the second baseman, Garcia, shaded up the middle, so he's not that far off the bag. There he is. Foul ball by Shopik, so the count will remain 1-2. Kelly Shopik thinking about being a high school football coach when he's done playing baseball. Kelly, of course, played high school football. Last month we told you about 35-0 game when he played high school football, and Kelly scored all 5 touchdowns in the first half in that game. He's down on the count 1-2. His former battery mate, Carl Pavano. Swing and a miss. Kelly Shopik down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. The 6th strikeout for Pavano.
Well, as we're celebrating Labor Day here this week, on Monday, the Indians will face the Rangers. The special start time, 6:05, and all fans will receive a Cleveland Indians baseball cap. And it's also Big Mac Monday here, so come on out.
So 2 outs for Michael Brantley as we go back to the top of the order. Brantley with a single and a run scored back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Has a couple of flyouts his other times out. And he takes ball one from Carl Pavano.
Indians just 2 for 9 tonight off Pavano with runners in scoring position. Although the big hits, they came with 2 outs. Peralta back in the third, also Hafner. It's going to take a 2-out base hit here by Brantley to get that run home.
And pitch over for a strike. Pavano now with 93 pitches. So you figure he's nearing the end of his rope here this evening. Pavano surrendered 3 runs in the third, but that's been it. Jeremy Sowers is done for the evening, we assume, through 6. He stands to be the winner if the Indians can maintain the lead and win this ball game. Good comeback pitch there.
That's what makes Carl Pavano a good pitcher. He's not he uses both sides of the plate. He's been able to hit inside that inside corner and make that fastball, and he's thrown it for strikes. I mean, you see it's got a little comeback to it where those hitters back off, and it's got a little tail to it over the inside corner. That's what makes his changeup away that much more effective to the left-handers.
So now 1-2 to Brantley. And he swings and drives that one to center. Base hit. Around third comes Valbuena. Here's the throw home, the slide. He's safe at the plate. Down to second base goes Brantley. He delivers the 2-out base hit. 4-2 Cleveland.
Well, their third hit with runner in scoring position, all with 2 outs. And boy, you talk about making the hands work. What a nice job Michael Brantley did right there getting in on the fastball. He tried to get in there once too often. Great swing. Also, a very nice throw by Carlos Gomez because Valbuena trying to score. He just slides underneath the tag. There he goes. That was a nice swing. A line drive, you're going to send him with 2 outs. Here comes the throw. An excellent throw. And you see he just does get the foot down. It's a 4-2 game. Very big hit there.
Michael Brantley, his first Major League RBI, and it comes with 2 outs. And the Indians ahead 4-2, and Mr. Perfect at the plate. Jamie Carroll 3 for 3 tonight. So Michael Brantley delivering in the clutch. Has the average now at 429 this week since his recall, September 1st. 1-0 to Carroll. Swing and a miss. Jamie has the average up to 298 now. Those 3 hits this evening. Double, 2 singles, stolen base. Now Jamie seeing if he can add an RBI to that stat line as well. Brantley's out there for him at second, 2 away. Up high, 2-1 now to Jamie Carroll.
This is likely Pavano's last hitter, no matter how it turns out.
98 pitches on the night for Pavano. Former Indian, former Yankee, former Marlin, former Expo. Takes that one down low. He came up with the Boston Red Sox. Ironically, Curt Schilling, when he was just 12 years old, when Pavano was 12, Curt Schilling was one of his camp baseball instructors. Schilling took him aside and talked to him, said, you remind yourself of me at a young age. And then he beat Pavano in his first major league game when he was with the Expos. When Schilling was with the Phillies.
Always the teacher.
Yep, 3-2 back in 1998.
But the student put up a good fight, huh?
He sure did. Pavano 66 and 66 in his major league career. He has revitalized it this season. First off with the Indians for first 4+ months. Now with the Minnesota Twins. Payoff pitch to Carroll. Swing and a ground ball to first. Morneau's there. Flip to Pavano covering, and he just beats Carroll to the bag. And he gets him for the final out here in the 6th inning. But the Tribe adds a run. Michael Brantley, his first Major League RBI right here to drive it in. 4-2 Tribe. We go to the 7th. offering simple solutions for all your natural gas needs. Also Subway, play hard, eat fresh. And by AM/PM, too much good stuff. We go to the 7th inning here at Progressive Field. Indians leading the Twins 4-2, and a new pitcher for the Tribe. It's right-hander Jose Veras, who's been recalled from Columbus and making his second tour of duty with the Tribe this year.
38th time he's appeared in a game. Now we'll see if the Indians bullpen, they've got 9 outs where they can try and hold this 4-2 lead against the Twins. But they got through. Jeremy Sowers got through that last inning, and I knew it was going to be a very important inning for him and for the Indians. After Maurer got that base hit, the sacrifice fly by Morneau, but he was able to get Michael Kadire to end that inning, a very tough out.
So Jose Veras going to try to hold the Twins right here at 4-2 as he works the top of the 7th inning. He was originally acquired from the Yankees back on June 24th for cash. He's 3-1 in New York, a .596 ERA. Then in his first stint with Cleveland, he made 12 appearances, going 1-1 and a .762 ERA. And there's a strike to Brendan Harris. It'll be Harris, Gomez, and Casilla, the bottom third of the Twins batting order. Jose Veras was then designated for assignment back on August 5th by the Tribe, and then outrighted to Columbus on August 11th. Took it pretty well, too. When they said he was sent down, he said, I don't blame you. I want to get a look at some of these young kids, and if you want to send me to Columbus, I'll go.
Well, you have to if you want to pitch. He cleared waivers, and nobody picked him up. So if you want to maintain and try and come back to the big leagues and pitch, you have to go down and work to get back.
Veras did that, so here he is, ahead 0-2 to Brendan Harris. Harris 1 for 2 with a single back in the 5th inning. Good curveball. Strike 3 as Harris caught looking. Second strikeout tonight for Indians pitching, and Veras snapped a beauty off there. We pause now for a station ID break. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. A look there from the Goodyear blimp. The Indians leading the Twins 4-2 here in the 6th inning. Or rather, the top of the 7th, beg your pardon. Carlos Gomez batting with 1 out. Shows bunt, lays it down. Veras should make the play easily. Fires to first. Boy, Gomez made it close.
That's why he can run. That's why I'm saying he's got to try and do that. That's all part of his game. Well, Kick It is a campaign to raise money for pediatric, adolescents, and young adult cancer research. Kids can register their kickball teams at Indians.com and kickit.org. They'll hold kickball games in their communities to raise money through September. And then teams will be selected to play in special Kick It games at Progressive Field.
Pitch just outside to Alexei Casilla. There's Carl Pavano talking with Rick Anderson. His line, so Pavano probably done tonight. And not a bad performance. 3 earned runs, 6 innings pitched. That's a quality start.
They got him with 2 outs. But when you know what, when your team has only scored 2 runs and you give up 4, that's not a quality start. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you got to keep them close, and he did. But the Indians got Carl with 2 outs, and that has been the difference.
You know, if you can get those 2-out RBIs, it always seems, Rick, those teams that are at the top of the standings consistently are the ones driving in runs with 2 outs. That pitch sky high right back towards us. It's going to make the seats.
Well, let me send out birthday wishes. Larry Hoffman of Hinckley turning 63 today, and Rayanne Redmond of Marion is turning 10. Happy birthday to you both. Well, it was the Minnesota team last year that led the league with 2-out RBIs. You know, they were hitting well over 300. They were a very clutch hitting team.
Twins always have those contact hitters. See if fouls that one back. So now 2-2. So Jose Veras trying to make it a 3-up, 3-down inning here in the 7th. When we go from Sowers to Veras, the stuff is a whole lot different. Obviously, left to right is one of those, but Veras can get the fastball up there in the upper 90s as well. Now the 2-2 pitch. Curveball is fouled off. Tribe Twins will do it again tomorrow at 4:10. No television, so come on out to the ballpark. I will try to knock Minnesota out of this AL Central race this weekend. It's Masterson against Baker. Casilla grounds that one foul. Then on Sunday, back here with you on Channel 3. It'll be David Huff and Nick Blackburn at 1:05. And then Texas comes to town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On Monday night, 6:05 start for Memorial Day. Carlos Carrasco will go for the Tribe. There's a look at Carlos, the rookie. Had a rough first outing in Detroit, but
well, that one's over. He'll get a chance again. That's all.
And he did look a little nervous in his first outing, that was for sure. High pop, right side. Marte hoping he's got room. He'll have it. He'll make the catch. Twins go 3 up, 3 down here in the 7th inning. Good inning for Jose Veras out of the pen. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time in Cleveland. And their new menu is coming to your favorite panini soon. Keep up to date at paninisgrill.com. Bottom of the 7th here in downtown Cleveland. Tribe ahead 4-2 against Minnesota tonight. We'll see hitters 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. Peralta, Hafner, and Laporta here in inning number 7.
Be facing a new pitcher, Ron Mayhay. A pickup by the Twins, so Kansas City let Mayhay go. I'd say just about 10 days, 2 weeks ago. So Carl Pavano's night's over. 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. A couple of walks, 6 strikeouts.
First pitch that Cabrera sees, he grounds to third.
Boy.
There's another error for Harris.
Is that right? I mean, he made a nice play there. He's having a tough night.
So Cabrera will head to second base as that one goes out of play.
And I'm going to tell you, that's a play normally, that Justin Morneau picks. I mean, he makes a nice pick on this ball. That ball is not an easy play, but he does a 360, turns. Did that ball bounce? I'm not so sure that ball bounced.
No, it looked like it went just off the tip of his glove before it hit the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, that may have had some movement to it or something like that, but that's a ball that I've seen Morneau make plenty of times. I don't know. Did they give the error to third baseman?
It's the 4th error of the night.
Yeah, they did. They gave it to
so his
Harris.
third.
Holy smokes. That was a tough error there.
So Cabrera on second, nobody out. Peralta ground ball in the hole. Here comes Cabrera around third. He'll score. 5-2 Tribe. Another RBI tonight for Johnny Peralta.
Well, you talk about, there you go, taking advantage of the mistakes made by a team. And this is the best fielding team, or at least it was, coming into tonight. But they have 4 errors. And Johnny just finds the hole between short and third from Mayhay, tops it. It gets through. Cabrera scores easily. And the Tribe lead at 5-2 for Peralta's second RBI of the night.
So Ron Mayhay, victim of some poor defense here, and a run is given up in the 7th. 5-2 Cleveland as they match their largest lead of 3. And now Travis Hafner to the plate, who walked, singled, and then was intentionally walked. So he has not made an out tonight. And he looks at ball 1 in the dirt. Nice stop by Joe Mauer. The Indians with the runner on first and nobody out. So an opportunity to get some more here and build this lead. The 1-0 pitch. 1-1 now to Travis Hafner. Travis had his other shoulder bothering him, but he's been back in the lineup now this week. And well, hopefully next year he'll be closer to where he was a couple of years ago. And people talked about his surgery, and they said it's going to take time. Even the one he had last fall, this season, it's hard to come back and be 100% right away.
Well, it may be, but Travis Hafner's got to come back to the Travis Hafner of old, to be the DH in this ball club and be consistent. He's got to play every day. He's going to have to hit home runs and drive in runs. I mean, that's what Haf is paid to do.
Fouls that one off, so it's 1-2 now. And there's some games you see him, Rick, the way he swings the bat, he looks like the Travis Hafner of old, but then unfortunately a few times this year it seems, well, he had to take another couple of days off.
He's been very inconsistent this year. Hasn't been, and he hasn't been able to go at it every day. He needs time off. After 3 days, they couldn't play him for a while after 3 days, and then 4 days. Then he needs a couple days off.
Fouls that one off. So the count remains 1-2. Indians with 3 runs in the 3rd, a run in the 6th, and a run in the 7th. Twins with single runs in the 5th and the 6th tonight. 5-2 Tribe. Minnesota 2 runs on 6 hits. Indians 5 runs on 9 hits. The big difference is in the error column. 4 for Minnesota tonight, 0 for Cleveland. Throw back to first. Peralta back easily. I don't think Johnny will be running here.
I don't think John will be running, period.
Another throw to first. Travis Hafner has seen Ron Mayhay 9 times in his career. He has 1 hit off of him, and it came this year. It was a double when he was with the Royals. Half down 1-2 to Ron Mayhay, who was mysteriously concerned with Peralta at first, who has a short lead. That pitch a little bit low. 2-2 now to Hafner. And when Travis is going well, too, he will lay off those pitches, those that are just off the plate, out of the strike zone. That was one of his hallmarks in that 04 to 06 era when he was so good. He'd take walks, and he wouldn't swing at a lot of bad pitches.
Well, that's what he got out of that rhythm this year, expanding his zone, and he'll be the first to tell you that's something when you're swinging the bat well you don't do.
It's a high in the air to left center. Gomez cruising all the way over, almost to left field, makes the catch. 1 out here in the 7th. And kick off the 2009 season with a Browns Trips Pack. Build your own 3-game ticket plan, including the Browns home opener against the Vikings and Brett Favre, for as little as $96. Buy online at clevelandbrowns.com. So Tribe finished up the exhibition season on Channel 3 last night. The loss to the Bears, but didn't look too badly. We're still waiting to see who the starting quarterback will be, Anderson or Quinn. Well, we'll have a new pitcher right now for the Minnesota Twins. So Ron Mayhay is done. We'll tell you about the new Twins reliever when we come back. Break time on Sports Time Ohio 5. Out, runner on first base for the new Minnesota pitcher, right-hander Jesse Crain.
Well, Jesse Crain coming on for the 40th time this year. 4.4 record, 5.97 ERA. He's manning 37 2/3 innings, 40 hits, 19 walks, 32 punch-outs. Coming on to face Laporta with one out here. The Indians already with a run in on the fourth error by the Minnesota Twins tonight, so they have taken advantage of it. Back in the sixth inning, in the last inning, that leadoff man reached on an error, and he came around to score.
So now Matt Laporta, who's 0 for 3 tonight with the flyout and a couple of groundouts, and he'll take ball one from Jesse Crain. Crain was optioned down this year. Back on June 16th to AAA Rochester. Posted a 2.55 ERA down there and was recalled on July 23rd. Made 12 appearances for the Red Wings. He was disabled earlier this year with right shoulder inflammation from April 18th to May 4th as Laporta swings and misses there. So Matt Laporta, the rookie, looking for his first hit of the evening. 1-1 against Crain here in the seventh inning. 5-2. Indians have the lead. Now the 1-1 pitch. Laporta checked his swing. Did he do it in time? Yes, says first base umpire Rick Reed. Hey, Sports Time Ohio is your home for high school sports. Tonight at 11 o'clock, it's the Avon Lake Shoremen taking on the Brunswick Blue Devils. High school football tonight at 11, only on STO. Some great matchups this year for you on Sports Time Ohio. Last week we had Ignatius Glenville, so make sure that you check it out tonight at 11. Swing and a miss for Matt Laporta. Now 2-2. Matt Laporta hit 26 home runs as a sophomore at Florida back in 2005 to set a school record. He also led the nation that year in home runs. There's a look at Tony Sipp getting loose in the Indians bullpen. But Matt Laporta, you talk power potential, he's got it. Stays alive with the foul tip. Now, Rick, with a young hitter like Matt Laporta, do you want him to focus more on the average first? Or what
Absolutely. Type of No. You stay on the baseball. Keep your stroke short like he had it going in Baltimore. You start hitting home runs, you get long swings, and that'll get you in trouble. I don't think it's any hitter because you start trying to hit home runs. You hit your average up there, and the home runs come from a byproduct of a great at-bat.
Laporta checks his swing again. And again, in time,
You know,
says
look
Rick
at
Reed.
how long has Joe Mauer come up and hit 320, 330, and they were on him for not hitting home runs because he wants to hit in the middle part of that lineup. Well, you know, gradually he's only in about, 370 this year.
Yeah.
And now his home runs have gone up. I mean, they're going to go up when you start learning the league. You start learning pitchers.
Well, your swing gets so long when you're trying to hit home runs. You see it at every level of baseball.
I like to see a nice, short, compact swing.
Laporta, pretty good at bat there as he laid off that 3-2 pitch. That'll push Peralta down to second. So the Indians with runners at first and second, one out. Let's go back to our STO studios for a Ford Sports update. Dave, how's Cliff Lee doing tonight?
Well, Al, funny you ask. He's not doing good. For the second straight time, he's given up 6 runs. We're just in the 4th inning. Here's a homer off the bat of Hunter Pence, and the Astros are up 6-0. Lee went 5 games getting wins with only 3 earned runs. Now he's struggling. Back to you.
Yeah, Dave. Cliff Lee was 5-0 with a .68 earned run average in his first 5 starts for Philadelphia.
He's come
Now,
down
the
to
last
earth a
two,
little bit.
He's gotten bombarded.
Too close to home. Got to get him back out on the road.
Well, Buena fouls that one out.
In Houston, Texas. He's from Arkansas, so probably a lot of people in the house.
And as good as Cliff Lee has been, and he's been outstanding the last 2 years, there's no question about it, he does go through occasionally a week or two where he gets hit pretty hard.
Who doesn't?
Absolutely.
Everybody does.
So Valbuena batting here. You see the base runners. Peralta at second. Laporta at first. 1 out. Valbuena takes a strike. So now 0-2 to Valbuena. He popped out in the second inning. Reached on a single back in the 4th. Reached on an error in the 6th and scored. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's down here 0-2 to Jesse Craig. Up high for a ball. Valbuena with 8 home runs. And Rick, I don't think the Indians thought, I don't think Seattle thought that Valbuena could show the pot. Now, not that he's a big-time power hitter now, that's not what I'm saying, but show the power potential that he's shown the last couple of months with Cleveland.
Well, he's a strong kid. When you look at his body, he's put together.
Stays alive with a foul tip there.
You know, and he's a good low ball hitter. He can drive the ball when he gets it down in the zone. He's solid. I mean, when you look at him, he's not graceful when he fields like a Cabrera is.
Right.
This guy, I mean, he doesn't run fast. He's just a very powerful guy, and he's a tough kid.
He's got a couple aboard here. The bottom of the 7th, 5-2 Tribe, and a 1-2 count. It's that one. Fair inside the line. Nice play by Justin Morneau. He'll take the out at first. Runners advance, but now there are 2 outs with runners at second and third. So Andy Marte will get a chance now with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Andy 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout.
Yeah, that's been the theme of the night, though. They have driven in, 3 runs with 2 outs here.
The 2-out RBI has been huge for the Tribe.
Right.
I think they've driven them all.
4.
4? Okay. That's right, 4 it is. And the one here in the 7th, that's the only run that didn't come with 2 outs. One of them came on an error. So 3 RBIs with 2 outs for the Tribe tonight. Good curveball for a strike. Andy came into tonight's game hitting better on the road than at home. He was batting just .211 here at Progressive Field. That's gone down a bit since he's 0 for 3, but .283 on the road. All 4 of his home runs have also come on the road. Swing and a miss. So quickly he's down 0-2. And Jesse Crane is a strike away from getting out of it without further damage here in the 7th inning.
Well, base hit here would really put a damper on it. But you got to stay short.
The 0-2 pitch. That's up high. 97 miles per hour on that Jesse Crain fastball. His 15th pitch of the night. 9 of them for strikes. Twins with 2 runs on 6 hits. Tribe with 5 runs on 9, but those 4 errors for Minnesota stick out like a sore thumb tonight. The Indians haven't committed any errors. Now the 1-2. Down low. You know, this is what Matt Laporta did. He was down in the count, worked himself a walk. Marte was down 0-2, and now it's 2-2. First base is open. Kelly Shopik is on deck. Marte fouls that one back. Had a good rip at it.
Trying to throw that fastball by. He got away with one there. That was not where you wanted it. It may have wanted to come inside to Marte.
So we'll do it again at 2-2. Ground ball to third. Harris throws across, gets Marte. Indians done here in the 7th inning, but they get another run. They lead it 5-2. We go to the 8th here on Channel 3. All its splendor here tonight.
I know it. It's beautiful. And a nice full moon. Watch out for Teen Wolf next door. He'll be howling.
He might awaken. Indians lead at 5-2 as we head to the 8th inning. New pitcher, left-hander Tony Sipp.
For the 36th time, Tony coming on into the ball game. Chris Perez went a couple innings yesterday, so don't know if he's available today. So Tony Sipp's going to get the opportunity for the 8th inning here. We've got Span, Cabrera, and Mauer.
Up top of the order for the Twins, Denard Span looks at strike one from Tony Sipp. Span 0 for 3 tonight, but he's lined out the last couple of times up to center and then to shortstop. So Denard Span has hit the ball well here for Minnesota. Pitch low and outside. 1-1 to Denard Span. Tony Sipp has really been solid, Rick. He, Joe Smith, and Chris Perez have really solidified the setup spots in this Indians bullpen.
Well, these guys have given Eric Wedge innings. Joe Smith has been more of a matchup guy, where Sipp and Perez have gone out there and giving them solid innings. But the bullpen, the fact of the matter is the bullpen has had rolls now, and they've settled down a lot, and it's been much better recently.
Opposing batters against Sip hitting just 172. He's gotten both sides out. So he throws that one for a strike, and it evens the count at 2-2. Lefties are hitting 157 against him, but right-handers are hitting only 188.
Well, the pitch for Tony has been that nice changeup to the right-handers to get him out. And it hasn't been with him all the time, but this kid's done a nice job. He's got a good arm, a good slider, and a pretty good fastball. Low 90s.
To see Tony Sip rebound from the injuries he had in the minor leagues.
Right.
Boy, it's a great story.
He's got a good makeup. He's a good kid.
Breaks the bat there. Valbuena going to have to hurry. Throws on the run. Got spanned by a step. Nice play by Valbuena as Tony Sip sawed him off for the first out. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. And what a gorgeous night for the blimp.
Yes,
indeed. But you wish you were back up there, don't you?
Well, no, I want to be right here with you, Al.
Oh,
forget about that
blimp.
blimp.
That is so nice of you to say. So one out here in the top of the 8th inning. Orlando Cabrera, the batter. And he looks at a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. And that's the key. If Tony Sip throws strikes, boy, he is very, very tough to hit.
Yes, he is.
Sip in his rookie year with the Tribe. It's been up and down several times, but then you look at his numbers here: 2-0, a 3.41 ERA, and 35 appearances. Through the different times up, he's been fairly consistent.
As he's gone up and down too, the confidence level has come back because it seems like every time he's been back up here, he just feels a little bit better and believes he belongs. He's still a rookie. He's going to be, just like a rookie next year. When you can get him here, and the league will make adjustments, they will have seen him before. But Tony, he's got that makeup. He could be good.
2-1 the count here to Cabrera. Takes that pitch for a strike on the outside corner.
But the key, it is throwing strikes, and I guess it's true for any reliever. You've got to come out of that bullpen, and you've got to pepper the strike zone.
Ball got away from the bullpen out there in the right. Almost nailed Matt Laporta.
That's hard to do, isn't it? Down there in right center field.
I don't know what they were doing. It's kind of hard to. Is that a bullpen ball? Or did they come from the stands?
Yeah, it must have short hopped down there. Whoever's coming in from Minnesota. That's a tough short hop there.
As you can see,
that's a high wall.
Got that fence. Hit the bull. Cabrera pop-up, Manning just 2 boots to the right.
Oh, over to Bert Blyleven.
Yes.
Dick Bremer.
Your
Very
former teammate
nice.
Got it.
No, Bert didn't get it.
Oh,
his partner caught
it.
it. Dick Bremer. Nice catch.
There he is.
Look at it. He's explaining how you do it. And I know his hands are bleeding about now.
Nice catch, Dick.
Yes, it was. Very nice catch.
I was screened for a moment. Thought it was Bert. Meanwhile, Orlando Cabrera out on strikes. Tony Sip. Nice breaking ball. His first strikeout of the night, 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning for Minnesota.
Let's take a look at the strikeout. They want to go inside. And there it is. Down and in. A little slider. It is called a strike. Cabrera may not like it, but that was a pretty good pitch. Out number 2 in the 8th.
5 straight outs for the Indians bullpen thus far as Jose Veras went 3 up, 3 down in the 7th, and Tony Sip gets the first 2 here in the 8th. Now he'll face Joe Mauer, who singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3 tonight, and he'll take strike 1. Joe Mauer hitting .367 coming into tonight. The 1 for 3 evening, he's kept it there. He leads the American League in batting. 7 points better than Ichiro as that pitch is up high. It's now 1-1 to Joe Mauer. This is when you want to pitch to him, 2 outs and nobody on.
Yeah, you feel much safer about it. I mean, he's going to get his hits no matter what, but you do not want guys on base. Because Joe Mauer does not change his approach.
Swing and a miss there. 94-mile-per-hour fastball. And the thing with Mauer is, Rick, if a pitch is a strike, it doesn't matter if it's on the outside corner, he'll go to left. If it's on the inside, he'll turn on it and go to right. He uses the entire field, and there's really no down part of the zone for him. He hits any pitch that's over the plate pretty well.
Well, the amazing thing about good pitch.
Curveball.
Yeah.
Joe Mauer, I don't think
Good
looking
pitch.
for that one. He's going to have a little conversation with Larry Vanover at home plate, but that one, a dandy for Sip. His second strikeout. Twins 3 up, 3 down in the 8th. 5-2 Cleveland. The Terminal Tower, the Indians leading this one 5-2 over the Twins, and a new pitcher for Minnesota coming on. It's right-hander Bobby Keppel. Some of the fans here for fireworks night. Some of the kids, they're having a good time.
Well, why not? It's not a bad crowd here tonight. The Friday nights are winding down.
Some numbers on Bobby Keppel. Tied a career high back on August 15th when he had 4 strikeouts against Cleveland, so he's in again. 6'5", 215 is Keppel. Tonight's scoreboard update brought to you by Coors Light. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. As Kelly Shopik takes high and tight for ball 1. Shop 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts tonight. So it'll be Shopik, Brantley, and Carroll here in the 8th for the Tribe as Shopik lines that one right on the nose, but right to Alexei Casilla. Twin second baseman makes the catch, and there's one away here in the 8th inning.
Send out a happy birthday wish to Pete Hogue, big Tribe fan. Pete, happy birthday to you. As we see Shopik finally put a ball in play. When you hit it hard, there's a guy in the way.
Figures, right?
Yeah, go figure.
So here's Michael Brantley, who delivered that RBI single. His last time up, he's 2 for 4 tonight. His first major league RBI back in the 6th inning. He'll bat with 1 out here in the 8th, and he'll take ball 1. Michael Brantley's dad, Mickey Brantley, of course, used to play for the Mariners. He's a coach now, and when he was a coach for the Mets, his dad, Michael would hang around the Mets clubhouse when he was 10 or 11 years old, and he said he liked to hang out by Ricky Henderson's locker and just listen to him talk.
Can you blame him? The guy that plays the outfield and likes to run.
And Ricky always had a lot to say.
Well, you see, that's the one thing when you're the son of a major league player, you get to hang around that clubhouse, so you're not intimidated as much as maybe some young kids when they get called to the big leagues. Because you develop that attitude and you're not in awe because you've been around it since you've been a kid.
Did you ever notice that young players tend to gravitate towards major leaguers when they have that opportunity that are like them? Ricky Henderson, leadoff hitter, speed. Michael Brantley, leadoff hitter, speed. Not trying to say he's going to be Ricky Henderson by any stretch, just saying that same
but
type
just
of
to
play.
have an opportunity to see that when you're a kid is, I mean, how many guys would ever have the opportunity to do something like
Not
that?
many at all. Ken Griffey Jr. did, and of course you see what a great career he's had.
Well, you got the Boone family, the Bell family, you
Hairstons.
got the Hairstons, correct.
Brantley up the middle with the grounder, but the shortstop is there. Orlando Cabrera throws him out for out number 2. Time now to take a look at the results of tonight's Alltel text poll. Which Indian do you think should be the minor league player of the year? And you said Carlos Santana. 57%. Michael Brantley, the distant second choice. Thanks for voting. We'll have another poll for you tomorrow. And Carlos Santana, pretty good selection. The Eastern League most valuable player this year. He was the California League most valuable player last year. So thanks for voting. And we'll have a new poll question for you on Sunday with the game on Channel 3. Indians play the Twins tomorrow at 4:10, but there's no TV on that one. Here's Jamie Carroll, 3 for 4 tonight. He broke his bat on that one, and Justin Morneau will have an unassisted play. So the Indians go 3 up, 3 down here in the 8th inning. We'll go to the 9th. Tribe will try and hold on to this 5-2 lead and end the losing streak. Stay tuned. Top of the 9th inning, time for Kerry Wood.
Well, it's been a while for Kerry Wood. He had to have a couple days off there. Had some shoulder stiffness. Looking for save number 18. Trevor Crow.
Yep, Trevor Crow has come in to play left field in place of Jamie Carroll.
27th of August was the last time that Kerry has pitched in a game. That was in Baltimore.
So Kerry Wood looking for the save tonight, and Justin Morneau swings at the first pitch and pops it high in the air. Foul ball, but here comes Peralta to make the catch. 1 out. Let's take a look at tonight's Northern Ohio Buick Pontiac GMC performance of the game. And coincidentally, it's Johnny Peralta, 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs tonight. And 34 runs batted in since the All-Star break for Johnny P. There's Johnny, who's playing well tonight. He's recorded that pop out. The first down. Now Jason Kubel Looking at a strike. You like to see that. Justin Morneau, Rick, swinging at the first pitch and popping out,
Well,
get him out of the way.
You know, when you're down by 3 runs and you've got a guy like Morneau, you don't mind him leading off an inning because he's used to being in the RBI situations and having to hit the home run when it counts. So he doesn't want to spot Kerry Wood a fastball early in the count.
And Morneau now he was 0 for 3 tonight, and now he's 0 for his last 11. So that's something you don't normally see from Morneau. Kubel sends that one foul. Should make the seats. It will. So Kerry Wood ahead of Jason Kubel here, 1-2 now with 1 out and nobody on in the 9th inning. Don't forget to stick around after the game for our Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show. If you're on Channel 3 and would like to watch it, head over to Sports Time Ohio. If you're already watching us on STO, just stay right here. We'll have highlights from today's game, a postgame interview. So that pitch is in the dirt. We'll also have highlights from around the majors with Dave Chudowski. So make sure you check us out, the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show. Plenty still to come tonight for our baseball coverage on STO. 2-2 to Jason Kubel. That pitch low. Doesn't matter if you're a lefty or a righty, you're going to do pretty much the same off of Kerry Wood. Right-handers are hitting .241 against him this year. Left-handers .240. Now the payoff pitch. High fly ball to left. Coming on is Crow. Makes the catch in fair territory. 2 outs. And Trevor says, all right, got a touch.
Now the ball will find you. I don't care if you're going for defense or not. You can't hide. First time Trevor's been out there in a long time.
Well, good to see Trevor back. And now the fans come to their feet here at Progressive Field as Kerry Wood is 1 out away from the save and the Indians win. 2 outs. Nobody on. 5-2. Here's Michael Kadire. 0 for 3 tonight. That pitch just off the plate. 95 miles per hour on the fastball. Kerry Wood with 4+ pitches. And Rick, when he's got even 3 of those working, you almost have no chance as a hitter.
Well, you don't. When he's got his, even when he's got his little breaking balls going, fastball, curveball, you're lights out. You can forget about it.
1-1 now to Michael Kadire. The Indians faithful here tonight. Like to see Kerry Wood finish it out. Curveball swung on, little dribbler, Shopik quickly back from behind the plate, throws to first, got him. Game over. Indians win. 5-2 the final score.